Thanks for checking out Non-Judge Metal. Be sure to check out the Facebook and Instagram. And be sure again to check out the Star City Punkcast, also on Facebook and Instagram.
As always.
When shit like that happens in Las Vegas, everybody's got to take a step back and say, you know, what are we going to do?
Oh, what, the Vegas shooting?
You know what I'm saying? The Horns are with you, but...
Dude, the Horns are definitely with you. Like, think about it. Like, could have just easily been a metal show. You don't ever want to see that shit anywhere.
Because is this going to actually stop you from going to bigger metal shows, certain places, maybe having...
No, absolutely not.
Because if it does, then terrorists win.
My Rebellion ticket's still in the bank, man. It's still waiting on there. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm not. Just because bad things happen doesn't mean my life's going to go on pause. That's not what being non-judgmental is about.
But it makes you hopefully more aware of their surroundings and such. So,
I mean, it can, yeah, but I'm still going to go and suspend myself to disbelief. I mean, like, I'm not one of those, like, fate people, you know, and, like, everybody has some destiny and a set A and B path, but also believe that if I'm going to go enjoy a metal show and some nut's going to bring a gun and annihilate me, I might not have too much a choice in that matter. If I continue to just hide from it, then I'm never going to experience anything.
True.
You know?
But I'll tell you who has experienced a multitude of lives.
Yeah.
And that's fucking Tom Petty.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Petty, 62 years young, passing on, and by all means, you know. Do you think that Dylan made a deal with somebody to not get there before anybody else? Like, I don't know.
You're referring to your meme.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was. It was a good one. You know, I mean, considering the circumstances, of course, I'm someone that believes that, you know, everything's funny or nothing is, but still, it's heartbreaking to find out that something happened to Tom Petty. Man, he was a legend rocker, and you know, one of the big ones, one of the good ones.
Right.
Yeah, it's one of those things you hate to hear, man. And we've lost a lot of people in music in the past year or two, and it's just, I don't know. That's the one good thing about growing up in the generation we are in. Pardon me. One good thing about growing up in the generation we are in is the music we get. And the bad thing about growing up in it is we actually get to watch some of these legends die, and it's kind of like, you know, it's that bittersweet of it all.
Definitely. Luckily enough, though, like, I know Last Dance of Mary Jane, I think, was the first song that I heard from Tom Petty when I was younger and shit, and I didn't really understand what it said and shit. But I'll tell you, like, a quick little short tidbit. In Big Rock, I'm working there once, you know what I'm saying, in my teen years, and a song came on. Learn to fly, but I ain't got wings. And coming down is the hardest thing. Like, I swear to God, I'm in the bathroom listening to that, and I just realized what he's talking about. Like, after hearing that song probably 25, 35 more times in my childhood and shit, like, and just looking at it when I was, you know, I want to say I was 19, maybe 18, but hearing that song for the first time and realizing that, like, Tom Petty is a jack of all trades of sorts when it comes to wordsmanship and such. So, just a great song. Nonetheless, I didn't really recognize that he was talking about getting high and coming down and shit. But,
yeah. Not at the time. No, not when you're a kid. You don't even think about it. It just doesn't resonate with you. But, you know, the songs, man, they'll live forever. And, you know, that's one good thing about being able to record music in this modern age, man, is that those people get to you know, enhance generations to come even after they leave us. So.
Right.
But
it had to be some kind of question about the times when that question came up on Jeopardy. Did you hear about this?
Yeah. You're talking old school Tom Petty. And let's move into old school Jeopardy. The question of the night. Oh man, like metal comes up on Jeopardy. It happens.
It does, but like it doesn't happen quite as often. But this wasn't even something that happened years back. This happened, I think, last Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
Like on primetime TV, there's a lot of people that voted for Trump to watch that Jeopardy episode that like might not have known who Slayer was, but now
October 5th.
they're going to know they're the murderous quartet that was along with the Megadeth, the Metallica, and like I think you said to me when I brought it up the first time that like Anthrax, some people maybe not, some people maybe, I don't know. I never really had a problem with Scott Irons, so.
I don't know. No, I think what it is like there's some people out there that think like Exodus and Testament should have been in that spot of the big four, which were Metallica, Megadeth, and Anthrax and Slayer at the time.
Right.
The big four were those bands, and people thought that Anthrax maybe should have been Testament or Exodus. I've heard that argument from some metalheads out there, but to each his own. In that same respect, though, like it's still pretty cool that the big four bands of thrash made it on to national TV. They got the question right. I'm assuming that they didn't botch it. They didn't say Nickelback or nothing.
Or Bon Jovi, and I think one of the fans or somebody online said a show about Flock and Seagulls, and I was like, come on now. They wanted to know the quartet with the murderous name that was along with it, so obviously a Testament or Exodus had a problem with it. I was like, look, you're good. Your name's not quite murderous enough to make it on this particular this ballot.
Because the answer to the question was simply Slayer.
Yeah, no, it wasn't, because it's fucking who is Slayer.
Well, same thing.
And it seems like, I know it's not, though, because so many people are like, but you didn't say who is first. And I'm like, come on now.
Yeah.
We're not playing. Like, we're just chilling in the living room and shit. Like, if I fucking hit the buzzer, you better goddamn well believe them if I can say who is goddamn Slayer. And they're going to be like, no, it's like goddamn Slayer. It's Slayer. And I'm like, now you shut your fucking mouth, Alex Trebek.
Yeah, maybe I'm not interested in answering every question in the form of a question. Maybe I don't care that your game show just goes in circles, man.
Kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is that what Jeopardy is? It's just a circle jerk of questions, pretty much?
I guess so. But at least they brought metal into the mainstream. October 5th episode. So if you have a way to watch that, or you record it and check it out.
Murderous metal. So. And you heard about the other murderous band that's in the news right now.
Which one?
Decapitated.
Oh, the Decapitated. The Decapitated debacle.
That's insane.
We talked about it 2 weeks ago on the show. Decapitated. And where are they from again?
I believe a lot of them are from, it's across, I want to say Europe, but I don't think it's.
That's fine. Yeah, I can't remember specifically where they're from, but long story short, Decapitated were arrested after a gig in, I think, Spokane, Washington?
No, well, they were on their way. They were in Santa Monica, California.
Oh, they were in Santa
Monica. When they were arrested, and they got extradited all the way back to Spokane, Washington, I think, for a trial. But they've been in jail.
Yeah, they've been in jail since.
That's insane, though.
And the reason this happened is because apparently after a show, and this is the main point we brought this up initially, was
Sorry, chicks be fizzing, these hoes ain't loyal. There's 1,000 ways to say it, but like, don't be taking every chick's word straight up as bond right on top. Like, I'm waiting until all the evidence comes out before I cast judgment on any band.
Well, exactly. But before we get deep into it, just to fill anyone who might not know, essentially, Decapitated on their way from a show were arrested with the accusation of gang rape on a fan. Immediately, the internet and a lot of fan and I noticed right off the bat, they had released a new album, I believe, in March. A friend of ours actually went and saw them, and they were touring for this record, and there was a big song on the radio, "Kill This Cult." Immediately after that incident a couple weeks ago, that song stopped. The publicity stopped. I mean, obviously, that negative it affected them right off the bat. And before any facts of this case came in, like, it seemed a lot of the metal community had kind of rallied against them. Now, some obviously stood behind, like in most things, people get divided. But we said, particularly, I remember we talked, and we were like, just wait for the facts because you never know. And then now we're hearing facts that their lawyer has released a statement today, and they had some security guards that their lawyer.
Multiple witnesses.
Yeah, multiple witnesses. So Stephen Graham, the spokesman, offered a review to the spokesman that we have witnesses that can testify to the fact that the accuser came to visit on their own free will and left on good terms. The accuser also has a documented history of providing fake information to the police dating back at least almost 4 years at this point. So, before, and keep that in mind that obviously more evidence could come out against her or the band. You never know.
Sure.
But the whole point is you keep your facts straight now. I mean, this is these guys' career. It's their livelihood. If an overzealous fan made a fake accusation, that's a horrible crime. If they did what they did, that's an insurmountable crime. There's no way to put weight to the gravity of this situation any more than it is. But what we all can say is just sit back and see what happens, because within 2 weeks of it happening, of their career pretty much being put on hold and it affecting their tour and their financial situation and the financial situation of the bands they were touring with. I think they had a big tour with Iarta's Murder. When things like that happen, it affects them on a different scale.
I just say I want to know who's going to be accountable for the funds that were taken away from, because they had ticket sales, they had, you think about the merch they're going to sell, there's so much that was taken away due to simply an accusation by somebody who's made false accusations in the past.
And that's not to say that they're making one now, but there should be, if it is come up that there is a false accusation, in any case, I think that the accuser should be accountable for some of that. And that's just my opinion, and that's not pertaining to this particular instance. I think that in any court case, if you go to court and you request a jury for a civil issue or however, you actually pay for that jury should you lose.
Right.
It's under that basis and that pretense. I agree to that. But it's just you never want to see anything like that, man. It's terrible when people kind of just rally against a group or a band, especially on such a touchy social issue. And it shouldn't be touchy, because we're not rape apologists. By no means is rape anything that there's any excuse for or reason for. So,
But there's witnesses saying that the chick was groping the fucking lead singer when he was on stage and shit. And it's just man, I don't know.
It just goes back, it goes back to that there's two sides to every story. And why don't you wait till you hear it all before you start pointing your finger at who? That'd be like somebody coming in and saying that girl's an obvious instigator in this, and maybe she ends up not being one. The door can swing either way. The fans could have rallied against her and ruined her life and doxed her on the internet and made her life hell. Just like if she did make a false accusation, it would make their lives hell. I think so. Sure. But enough about breaking the law, or accusations of breaking the law, I should say. When it comes down to breaking the law, that reminds me of our next issue. Breaking the law. Judas Priest.
Breaking the law.
Yeah, you remember that song, right?
I think I do.
Who doesn't remember breaking the law, breaking the law? Come on, man.
Actually, I listen to Open Argument, and what he does is breaking the law, but he cuts into it like breaking down the law. And he just down. It's funny, but nonetheless, I didn't really fucking like that. That's the only song. Name one other Judas Priest song, please. If they deserve to go in this rock and roll Hall of Fame, goddammit.
So you already know what I'm going to get into. Okay.
Maybe I do.
All right, maybe you do. All right, maybe you do. But look, I'm telling you, I know what you're going to say.
Okay, here we go.
I know what you're going to say. I knew this was going to come up if we fought about this.
I hope you got the list ready.
I'm sorry, man. I got the list right here. Rage Against the Machine definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but they'll have their time, man. Judas Priest deserves it this year. I'm sorry. Let Rob have it before he dies. Judas Priest deserves the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year. I want the Metal Gods in there. You're not going to convince me otherwise. Rage can have it. Tom Morello can have his turn. He's got a career ahead of him, but Rob's like 150 years old, and he's still up there whipping those pipes out.
Rob Halford is 64 years old. And
Rob Halford is not 64.
I know, I don't have anything in front of me. That was Supposed to be a joke. How old is he? 70, 74?
Oh, dude, like for real?
I might even look it up. I don't know.
Oh my god! All right, dude.
Like, I'm saying,
check
I'm not a
this.
Judas
Okay.
Priest friend. Okay.
Yeah, Rob Halford is 66, and he's still up there.
I'm pretty goddamn close then.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
obviously he's not 150 years old. I'm obviously kidding, but dude, he's been active in music since 1969, and I mean, just tearing up thrash metal. I mean, come on, man, like that's incredibly awesome. And he was one of he came out as gay in the late 90s when that was still taboo for celebrities to do for whatever reason. And
before or after he had AIDS?
I really don't know that. I don't know that that's relevant. But like, dude,
anyway.
Rob Halford, man, he's fucking Judas Priest, dude. I definitely think like Painkiller's a fucking.
We'll put a link for that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can cast a vote somewhere in order to get to it. I'll put a link up for the Rage Against the Machine vote, but I think if you look at the list, you'll probably agree with me and say Dire Straits. If there's only one going in this time, yeah, it's Dire Straits.
Okay. All right. Well, essentially, yeah. I can't really argue with that because the Dire Straits, that's mega popular. But I'm hoping not. I'm hoping it's Judas Priest. But once again, man, also Dire Straits. You say that, there's a lot of Radiohead fans out there because here's our list for Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees this year. Criteria for this was to have a debut single or album in '92 or earlier. And this is a pretty varied list here. Radiohead, Rage Against the Machine, like we already talked about. They can have it later. Judas Priest, who you all should vote for. Bon Jovi, Depeche Mode. Yeah, let's all vote Bon Jovi. I couldn't even laugh when saying that, even though it was a joke.
I don't think it's Bon Jovi. I think it's John Bon Jovi too, you asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Dire Straits are the next nominee. MC5, Kate Bush, the Jay Giles Band, LL Cool J on the list, Eurythmics, The Meters, The Moody Blues, Rufus featuring Shaka Khan, Nina Simone.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Rufus the Stunt Bomb and Shaka Khan. They got an album.
Rufus the Stunt Bomb.
Check this out.
The fucking bum fights.
Before '92.
I wonder how many people remember bum fights. I remember working, and a lot of people don't. I remember working at Best Buy, and some guy walked up to me one time. He just walked up to me, and as he was talking to me, he just looked at me dead serious like he was going to ask for a DVD, and he just goes, "Do you have bum fights?" And I just kind of sat there for a minute and was like, I don't know.
Did y'all?
No, well, we ended up not having it, but it's because we were out. And he explained to me what it is, and I said, well, what is this thing? And he said, oh, it's this DVD where this guy goes around and pays homeless people to beat on each other. And I was like, well, that sounds horrible. And he was like, yeah, it's fucking.
It does.
He was like, it's fucking grotesque, man. Do y'all have it? Like, I was like, well. That's how I found out about that. The last three are Sista, Rosetta Tharpe, Link Ray, and the Zombies. But it's time for Judas Priest to get the nomination for Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Kiss is in there, so Judas Priest definitely deserves to be. And fucking
right beside him, goddamn. I guess right fucking beside him. It was fucking the same. What do we got for new releases?
Well, hold on a minute. Hold on, man. I'm trying to. Katie, what are you talking about here, Buck? My dog's telling me something. What do you want me to tell him? Oh, she says as far as new releases are concerned, you got to check out Black Dahlia's Nightbringers, man. I listened to this last night. Man, while I just was sitting around the house. I waited till I was all by myself and just kind of, took care of things around the house, man. Just pumped it. It is a hardcore melodic death metal album, and all I can say is just like every record they've put out, it is just consistently good. Like it's always technical. It's got some killer grooves for death metal. The vocals are just always on point, man. It's heavy. It's dark. I mean, it's exactly what you're looking for if that's your thing. If you've listened to them before, this new album's not going to let you down. I'm definitely going to be jamming it consistently probably over the next few weeks.
I've seen some comparisons. I wanted to get your opinion on this because some people had verses up and they'd be like Black Dahlia Murders versus 6 Feet Under.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, so you have to explain that.
Whose side would you take as far as just like who's heavier, I guess? And by heavy, I guess guttural vocals and
well, 6 Feet Under has like a weird kind of guttural vocal. Chris Barnes does kind of, I don't know, like the way they do things to me is quite odd. It's good, but it's good in its own way. It's kind of like they're kind of like a niche death metal band, in my opinion. Now, whatever. I'm not trying to piss off any metal elitists who might like them. I know a lot of people I know don't.
I'm always trying to piss off fucking metal elitists.
Yeah.
Fight my dog fashion.
Yeah, you know what? Open your mind to be a little non-judgmental, you fucking cucks. Think about it for a minute. That maybe just because it doesn't have like the most technical guitar riff in the world, that it's not as good as it could be. Oh, maybe they could slow it down a little bit and actually speed up, 10, 16. It's like, I get sick of that shit. Like, just enjoy the fucking song, man. Enjoy the ride.
Yeah, that's fine, too. Try to enjoy the record, for God's sake. I'm saying, because the attention spans are fucking up. Because I know that, like, All His Birds Red have been giving me little singles and shit here and there, but now October 6th is when that Phantom Anthem album dropped.
Yeah.
Big fan. I've been checking it out on YouTube all fucking day, all week. Fucking great. Just great.
And they're that band in the, what genre are they? What genre?
I don't get it, because we've always said they were Christian metal. Since back in the day. But no, because, like, As I Lay Dying, All His Birds Red, I think it was one more. I think there was that big whole controversy with Evanescence suddenly becoming Christian and shit. Suddenly it was a big title of, like, let's not call it Christian metal anymore. Let's call it alternative metal.
I don't know who came up with that, and I don't remember hearing this story, but I have always hated the Christian metal term. Like, and not for, and I hope I don't want to offend anybody when I say that, because I don't mean it in an offensive way. What I mean is that I don't hear Christian country or Christian rap or Christian dubstep or Christian, swing.
Well, there's Christian rap.
I'm sure there is, but to me it's just rap.
Country. I've never heard of Christian dubstep, but I have heard Christian country and Christian rap.
My whole point is, I think it's music. Just because it's a faith-based lyrics, I don't think makes it, faith-based music. You can have aggressive, heavy music to get that angst and that rage out, and still, keep. I mean, I'm sure there's bands out there that don't talk about their faith at all in their music, but they. Their songs are still heavy, and they're I don't consider that Christian metal. I just think, I feel like the name diminishes it, not in a way that like it diminishes the music itself, but like I've heard people, I'll say, I check out this band, and they'll be like, oh, it sounds pretty good, and I'll be like, yeah, it's this band. They'll be like, what are they about? And they'll look at the lyrics, and they'll be like, oh, it's Christian metal, and it's like they're automatically turned off, and I'm like, man, you liked it until you knew that fact. That's so close-minded. Like I get that we all might not be faith-based people, and that you might not want to latch on to that, screaming into the abyss. But at the same time, like don't let your fucking delicate sensibilities ruin music for you too.
Definitely, it's just a lot less likely that I'm going to actually groove with the song if it's a lyric-driven song that's based on Christian lyrics. Then if the song is fucking metal as shit, and I like the rhythm of the song, and I like all that, and they're just saying whatever they do off of, like, that doesn't affect me. But it's like if it's lyrically driven by Christian, sometimes that turns me off just because I got no problem with your faith and shit. It just seems like there's a time and a place for that. And I'm not saying in the closet. Nonetheless, not on my TV player, hopefully.
Oh, well, hey, and to each his own, man. That's exactly the beauty of metal. Like, everybody has their preferences. Everybody has their desires. Everybody has their likes. And that's cool. And that's what non-judgmental is about. Now, you can be a little judgmental, Like, if a Christian metaler came up to me and said, I'm not too big on that, deicide, that anti-God metal, I'm going to understand their place on that and not think that they're an asshole for it. Like, that door swings both ways, but Anyway,
Definitely.
back to new releases. I always like to point out the stuff you pointed out to me, Bandcamp. We at Non-Judgmental really like that website. I think it's a great outlet for local and independent artists. Can put out some really good music with great production values. And I found a band on there. I got to check them out earlier. They're called Dreadnought, and it's a 4-song record called Awaken Sacred Waves. I definitely would check it out if you're kind of in that like prog doom type metal stuff. It's kind of a little bit of a folk, kind of black metal in there too. And some of the people reviewing it even kind of was like that Pink Floyd atmospheric kind of vibe or whatever. So, you know, well, I mean, I like that stuff, man. I checked out a song of it. One song was like almost 20 minutes long. I mean, so it definitely took me on a ride. You know, get in your house, turn it up, put the bass on, check it out. It might be for you.
Definitely. If you can't find it, just check out the Metal Mentions at the end of the video, and
yeah,
it'll be somewhere in that list. So
absolutely, absolutely. We'll put that on the Metal Mentions. And before another thing I want to put on the Metal Mentions now. Before I get to that, I will say also, Marilyn Manson's Heaven's Upside Down album came out this week. Once again, we talked about him last week when he fell and broke his leg at that show in New York. Definitely hope the best on that and that heals up and he can get back. I heard 2 weeks of shows were canceled on that. That's an update.
Yep.
So, but like I said, what I wanted to put on the Metal Mentions was, man, I'll probably wrap up on this one here. Gojira the other night in Cleveland, Ohio, was rocking out the House of Blues. And a 12-year-old boy gets on stage with them. They don't have his last name, I guess, you know, because it's a kid.
Yeah.
But his name was Aid, man. This kid absolutely just crushes it. It is a freaking cool video to watch him get up there with personally one of my favorite bands and just tear ass through a song with them. It's pretty cool. And also, if you're a Sepultura fan, Gojira closed the show out with a cover of Territory, which is, you know, Two Horns to the Sky, man. Pretty good shit. So, a lot of fun. That'll be on the Metal Mentions this week, too.
Without a doubt. And I'm probably going to put one of those, or maybe another one of those Johari videos on. Because I know I like that Stay Close song, Johari.
Yeah.
And like they got that one song with the Destiny Potato.
Yeah.
The chick from
for people, I haven't brought them up here on there yet because they haven't released a record, I think, in a while. I'll have to double check on that. But I got turned on to like a prog metal band a few years back. Destiny Potato got a really, really, really decent sound to them, man. They're I don't even know what to explain. It's just that real heavy, kind of slow prog sound, man. But it's that upbeat metal, kind of like that Johari does, like genty. I mean, how would you explain it, man? Like, I'm at a loss for words because I just absolutely love both these records.
Definitely. It felt West Coast type of like kind of out on the beach type of like metal feel. Like I don't want to come across like it's some type of White Star or some shit like that. I don't know if you know any of those. But it's like it's definitely progressive, positive metal type shit. Is it genty? Yeah. But there are definitely some killer riffs on there that I think are more resemble metalcore than djent thoroughly, because I know as far as djent and female, that gravity shit. Gravity.
Yeah.
Band of support. Like I've never heard of this band before, but I think they put out multiple albums before, and like that North single that they're putting out on YouTube right now, like I'm really digging it. It's got a rhythm we all know to start out with, and they just kind of djent the fucking shit up and turn it into something super uber metal, and I like it a lot.
Absolutely.
But you can't understand what the chick is saying and talking about and shit, because it is, I think it's French. I could be wrong.
Hey, man. Yeah, dude, Non-Judgmental. Check out different things all the time. You will find something you like, I promise. That's my recommendations, man. The new releases, I've checked out almost everything that we just mentioned. I think everything that's came out this week has almost been pretty solid. Definitely top notch on that would be that Johari. It's extremely good, and that Black Dahlia Murders, Nightbringer. We're going to have a Halloween contest, and I'm going to let you explain this one away.
I need some type of metal mascot, something. I'm thinking something on our profile picture, possibly if we posted something about this contest.
Hey.
And then allow you guys to comment on it. And you could put a picture of you in your costume, or you could put anything. You get the most likes on that before Halloween morning at 10 a.m. I'm guessing it's what, 10 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
Because we do live on the East Coast, right? You get the most likes on your post, and we'll make you
the non-judge metal mascot.
At least in every profile picture across all of our social medias. Like all the pages and whatnot, we tend to keep the same profile picture on all of them. Therefore, like, we'll go ahead and change it up. And maybe do it for the whole year, maybe do it for until the end of the year. We might talk about that later on.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, man. But we definitely want your feedback, and we want to know what you're dressing up as. We want to know what metal things you're doing. So let us know, man. But, hey, I figured since we're done here, let's take a minute before we get off here. Let's call Angry Gordon and see what he's up to. See what kind of metal stuff he's doing. What do you say?
Why not?
Why not? Why not? Give me 1 second here. Hold on, gang, as they say on Scooby-Doo.
No! Gordon!
Hey!
This is bad. This is bad.
What is bad?
Calling me when halfway through a turd.
Oh my God, dude! Look at this. We're calling you live on the show, and you're in the middle of you're on the toilet.
I was looking at Facebook Marketplace, taking a shit.
Well, yeah, that's so attractive. I was going to get you to say hey to Nick.
Oh, hey, guy.
What's going on, dude?
I don't think I've ever talked to two men while I was taking a shit.
You definitely made this NonjudgeMetal-15 most awkward episode ever, baby.
Do I wait to wipe?
That fucking you beat me right after I said it. You just made it exactly. Anyway, we want to know what you've been up to this week. What kind of metal you've been listening to? We figured we had a few minutes before we end the show. What's the Angry Gordon been fucking jamming, man?
Just still Bellacore, man. I can't get off that Bellacore. You guys need to check it out.
Okay.
On the Metal Mentions playlist.
It'll be on the Metal Mentions playlist, man. Well, look, hey, we don't want to keep you. This has been a mobile non-judge metal, man. We've been trying to get at you, but we made sure that we had a good time tonight, and we called Angry Gordon, and he was pooping, and that's fucking gross. So I literally, my stomach's turned. I got to get.
Yeah.
I had a chicken gyro.
Well,
you know what? We will talk to you next time.
Thanks for checking out Non-Judge Metal. Be sure to check out the Facebook and Instagram.
Greek food.
Be sure again to check out the Star City Punkcast, also on Facebook and Instagram.
Non-Judge Metal. Be sure to share us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.